How will Ashes of Creation affect World of Warcraft Legacy? Visa is trying so hard to make me talk about MMORPGs. He's like, come on Josh, give me a clip. Just say something about Ashes of Creation so I can put Ashes of Creation in the clip title. Say something about World of Warcraft so I can put World of Warcraft in the clip title, because if I can put both of those in the clip title, then more people will click on the clip. That's a good question, Visa. We'll have to circle around, we'll have to come back to it. How will it affect World of Warcraft's Legacy? Well, Ashes of Creation, if it comes out, when it comes out, possibly, maybe in the future, might be quite good. And then if it is... The problem that what I'm seeing that Ashes of Creation is doing right now is they're already suffering from feature creep. Now, people that backed the alpha years and years and years ago were promised something. And now they are already showing off the game's taming abilities, where you can tame beasts to your will and stuff. It very much feels like, imagine that someone made a really good board game, but before they released the core board game, they started talking to you about all the features that were going to be in the expansions. And you kind of have to say to them, hey, could you maybe release a core game before you start giving us all the expansions? Could you give us, a solid actual experience before you enhance it with everything else? I think that Ashes of Creation sounds like a fine concept, and I think they have been very much swept up in the idea that if they don't release with enough features to put every MMO game to shame, then they're going to fail. World of Warcraft didn't release as it is now. It didn't even release as Wrath of the Lich King. Most MMORPGs release with a base core game and then add the expansions as they grow. RuneScape didn't release as it is now. Elder Scrolls Online didn't release as it is now. Neither did Guild Wars 2. And I worry that, and again, this is an audience problem. A lot of MMORPG players, when they see a brand new MMORPG come out, they think, hey, this best release with all of the features that all the other games that I know that they have and that I love. No, a game when it releases now will not release in a finished state, and then it will slowly add to it over time. Now, this is a balancing act, because some people hate the fact that games don't release finished. And in certain genres and in certain game styles, that makes total sense. If a single-player game releases unfinished, yeah, that kind of sucks. If an MMORPG releases in a playable state and just gets better over time, that's kind of how MMORPGs have always done it. They release in a solid playable state, find their foundation, and then release expansions which enhance this foundation. If you add an absolute load of extra bits into your game before you have a foundation, these extra bits aren't actually enhancing a core gameplay loop, because you don't know what your core gameplay loop is. You've just got hundreds of extra bells and whistles that are not strong enough to stand on their own merits, but also not strong enough to enhance whatever the core game is, because the core game hasn't been found yet. So it's almost like ordering a meal where there's no main meal, but everything is a side dish. I very much worry that everything is going to be a side dish with a lot of new MMOs that release, because they are adding everything and the kitchen sink into them without fully understanding that you need to have a core concept first before you enhance it with stuff. It's MMO tapas.